Hello, folks. This is Santa Claus, and actually, I have a little story to tell you. But first, I want to tell you something that I found nobody else knows, and I think it's because of NASA. They have everyone convinced that we fly around the world like this, but it's not true. The secret is that we fly around like this, and let me explain why. My reindeer have to work very hard to carry the sleigh. And when we load the whole sleigh up, it's pretty heavy. And as we go, it gets a little bit lighter. But eventually, even with magic, it gets empty, so we have to refill it. So instead of going around this way, we need to go back to the North Pole every time we go around the Earth. So we go at the North Pole, and then we go down to the South Pole, and then around up to the North Pole, and then we change a couple of degrees over, and then we go around the Earth again, and we feed the reindeer, and we refill the sleigh, and then we go around again and again and again until we get toys to all the boys and girls. And my reindeer, they're still very tired, but at least they can make the whole trip, and so can I. Okay, now I've got a story to tell you. This was an amazing thing. Did you ever wonder what Santa Claus does in the off season? Well, there's a lot of things to do with lists and checking them twice, and working with the elves to make sure that they're making the right toys, all kinds of things. But I'm also a doctor, and every year my wife and I, Mrs. Claus, goes down to Juarez, Mexico, with a group from a church. And what they do is they build houses, and what my wife and I do is we run a clinic. Well, 2 years ago, a little girl came in, obviously with her mom. She was about a year old, and she was very, very sick. She had a very high temperature, and she was having trouble breathing. And when I listened to her with my stethoscope, I could hear all kinds of fluid rattling around inside her chest. So we did what we do, the normal things. We gave antibiotics and some steroids, and we helped her with breathing. But although it helped a little bit, but she always, between treatments, got worse and worse and worse. Finally, by the end of the day, it was getting time that we were going to have to close up, and I was sure that she was going to die that night. Anyway, between visits with her, I was taking care of other people, and I had seen her, and then about 20 minutes later, the nurse came in and said, "You've got to come see this." So I went into the room where the little girl was. She was still soaking wet because we were, dousing her with water to bring her temperature down. And there was the little girl sitting on Mom's lap and playing. She looked perfectly calm. She was breathing easy. And I listened to her with the stethoscope, and her lungs were not only better, they were absolutely clear. There was no fluid rattling around. And she had no fever. Well, as a doctor, I can tell you I didn't do that. God did that. And I think that one of the reasons why, I know he hears pretty well, but I think he hears really well when lots of people pray. The people in the clinic, of course, were praying for her, but the work crews that we go down with heard about it, and they prayed, and they tried to raise money so we could take her to a hospital. There was no way to get money to take her to a hospital. Things are different down there than they are here. But every Friday night, the whole group goes and they join the congregation at one of the 4 churches that serve the area where we erect houses. And they told the story to the congregation, and the whole congregation prayed and prayed and prayed. And when we talked later, it was about that same time that this girl turned around and became healthy. Amazing. So we were going to send her home, and I was worried that maybe she would get sick again, but we didn't have the equipment that she could take out of the clinic to be better. And one of the staff came in with a nebulizer. That's a machine that makes aerosol with medicine in it to help her breathe. we never knew. No one that was there said they knew it. They just happened to come by and find it. Well, maybe that's a miracle as well. But I can't think of any other reason why that little girl would have gotten better except by God's hand. The next year, this last year, when we went back, they brought her in to visit with us. Of course, she was now, 2 and very shy, and so she didn't, she was kind of hesitant to be near us, but it was just so heartwarming to see this little girl so healthy and had grown so well when we really, honest to God, thought she was going to die that night. And that's a real miracle. So that's my story. And what I want to say to you now, stressed as I am, is have a Merry Christmas. I always do.